Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is another MCU movie review. Today we're tackling Black Panther 1, aka Black Panther. Now, so make sure to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Again, I normally say that at the end, but hey, say it at the beginning too. It helps out. It's free. It takes you 1 second. Helps me out a ton. Anyway, so this is the movie that is, I guess, right before, it is right before Infinity War, which is considered to be one of, if not the best Marvel movie by a lot of people, including myself. And I'm just excited that we're there. Like, we're almost at the cusp of Infinity War and Endgame and all that. And so far, all these movies, like I said in the other reviews, have been pretty freaking good. All right, you know, we've had some missteps here or there, some little things. And then we get to this one, and it's basically more of the same. Like Chadwick Boseman, of course, obviously he passed away, so he is, obviously not playing Black Panther anymore. That is Shuri in the new film. But I think in this movie, Chadwick did a great job. I mean, he did a great job in Civil War. He did a really great job in this film as well. It opens with basically like a GTA San Andreas scene with guns and stuff, and then all of a sudden it turns into a Wakandan break-in, and you get all these crazy events that happen. And I think one of the strongest aspects of this film, besides the writing, is actually just the world building. Like, this is the first time, basically in the MCU, we're seeing something that isn't in some kind of American culture, that isn't in space. You know what I mean? And look, as a white guy from America, I don't know a lot about, obviously Wakanda's not real, but I don't know about black culture or, African culture, stuff like that. Of course, it looks cool, but I don't know nothing about it. So if I get something wrong, I'm just an uncultured white kid, I guess. But as Shuri would say. But I think it is really cool that, again, we do get the world building, right? I genuinely do love it. I like the sights and sounds of Wakanda before they even get into the crazy city, right? The vibranium-esque city. I think it's really cool that we get to see that. Again, I like the world building with the animals and the people, and obviously the different tribes and all that. The weird monkey guy, M'Baku, I think, and obviously T'Chaka is in this as well. Both young and old. T'Challa, obviously Black Panther. We get Shuri. We get Martin Freeman's character, which is funny because there's literally a scene where Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis are in the same room. And if you know The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, you know that Martin Freeman played Bilbo Baggins, and of course Andy Serkis played Gollum. And it's funny, cause I'm like, oh shit, it's like a Hobbit reunion. You know what I mean? After an unexpected journey, this happened, I guess. Bilbo just turned to CIA work, and no, I mean Martin Freeman does good as the son of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, which obviously Captain America: Brave New World trailer dropped. I did do a reaction to it. I don't know when this video is going live in relation to that. The audio got corrupted, so yeah, right, F me, right? But I gotta refilm it, but. Obviously, that won't be my first real reactions, but I'm still going to talk about it. Trailer's good, okay? It looks good, but you have to see that video to see my true thoughts on it, but I think it looks pretty good. And obviously, Thunderbolt Ross is recast, which, as I mentioned, it is kind of weird that when Black Panther died, they're like, oh, we'll never recast because he's an icon, never! And then Thaddeus dies, and they're like, fuck it, let's get Harrison Ford. You know what I mean? It's a little weird. I get it. Black Panther is a more substantial character than Thunderbolt Ross, but still, it's kind of a little weird. I don't know why. I have reasons, but I think it's because Black Panther is such a really in this this world building in the MCU. He is a very good character. Okay, he's very well written. He's a good actor in this. He does a really good job. So I understand, but it is kind of weird when William Hurt died. I don't know, weird. But overall, besides the world building and the acting and all that, it's fine. We got to talk about Killmonger, the villain. Okay, played by Michael B. Jordan, who is in Fantastic Four. He played the Human Torch. I actually don't hate that movie. It's not good, but I don't hate it. I don't think it's canon to the MCU, at least not yet. Maybe it'll show up in Deadpool and Wolverine. Who knows? Overall, though, oh boy. Overall, though, I don't hate that movie. But I think Michael B. Jordan is good in this role. He's got he's doing the Miles Morales Spider-Man 2 hairdo before I guess Yord from the Acolyte before it was cool. I guess where every black guy's got that hairstyle now in history not in history in cinema, I guess. I don't know why I said history, but yeah, whatever. I think it looks. I don't want to say it looks good, but I mean he pioneered it, I guess. I can't think of a character that had that haircut, and it's like, oh, I'm watching it last night. I'm like, oh, that's where Miles got the idea, I guess. That's where Yord got the idea, I guess, right? Even though one's Star Wars, one's Marvel, whatever. But he genuinely is a well-written character. I think, a lot of people, when you bring up a top 10 or top 15, whatever, even maybe top 5 best villains, Killmonger usually will show up. And I'm not going to say that he is the best villain in all of cinema, but you get a lot of people, when they review these movies and review this character, this villain, And they're like, oh wait, is he right? I guess it's weird. Like the term is coined is he right? Because that's like people for some reason only with the Marvel movies they have to judge a villain on if he or she is right in their motive. Obviously they're the villain, so they're wrong. But you know he does make some pretty good points. That hey, look, there's a lot of countries that are way poorer than Wakanda. They're really up shit's creek, and we got to do something to fix that. Right? We have this vibranium. Might as well ship it and give it to people that need it so that they can get rid of their problems and become strong, and we can rule them and supply them with vibranium and all that. So he's got an idea, but then he just goes around and choking people and shooting people and punching people and stabbing people, and then you're like, oh yeah, he's the bad guy. Oops, you know, I forgot, you know. So I think he does do a good job of portraying his role and what he wants to do and why he's a villain and why he does what he does. That's all well and dandy. But the term, is he right, which a lot of people coined to this villain, I mean, he's half right. Like, there's a lot of countries that probably could do better in regards to safety and all that, but vibranium probably isn't the way to go. I don't know, you know, the vibranium's not real, so I don't really know, but he's a good villain, that's all I'm going to say. He's good. I do really like the writing where he always wanted to see a Wakandan sunset, and his dad was always like, hey, or his uncle, whoever, T'Chaka was like, hey, I gotta show you the sunset and all that, and I think it's really, I kind of forgot that, but it's really poetic and fitting that when he does get stabbed and he chooses to die and not go to jail, he dies seeing the sunset. Really kind of beautiful moment for like a pretty horrific villain. You know, like a lot of, it's a very violent movie. Like people are getting, obviously they're getting punched and kicked and all that, but like people are getting shot. Obviously this is typical for Marvel, but I find it funny to see like little children like dressed up as Black Panther being like, I saw your movie, and I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have. You know, I know I'm not everyone's parent, but like, this is a violent effing movie. Like there's a genuinely like gripping and intense and almost disturbing scene with Killmonger and Ulysses Claw, Andy Serkis' character, where they're in like a weird like fucking like train or like plane depot, like I don't know what it is, but they're doing something, and you know when they're not doing a bank heist and poisoning people and shooting people, they get into a shootout, and you know Ulysses has his one arm gone, so he's shooting his pistol with one arm, and I don't know, maybe it's the squibs that they like popped on him, and you see the red bullet holes and all that, but it's just such a brutal scene where it's just like they're talking, and then all of a sudden this gunfight happens in the middle of nowhere, and you know Killmonger shoots Claw and just like cold blood just shoots him in the middle of a sentence. I don't know why. When I first saw that movie, it always stood out to me as being like a really brutal. It's not like that bloody, but it is still really brutal. And I think it's really it's impactful that he brings him back, you know, his dead body in like a freaking black bag and just like, here you go, to the Wakanda. Like, who are you? And he's like, here you go. It's a little surprise. And it's Killmonger's body. I don't know why. It just always stuck with me. It's really haunting, kind of. That he's just able to kind of do this cold-blooded. Obviously, we've seen villains do worse in the MCU, murder way more people, but just something about, like, you know, you get Vibranium and you get Black Panther, which, you know, I don't want to say it's a grounded movie, it's semi-grounded, you know, obviously, you know, Black Panther and magic stuff and plants and all that, but, you know, just to have this shootout in the middle of, like, a weird airport depot thing, it's just, I don't know, it's like a standout scene to me. Obviously, the fight scenes in this movie are genuinely great. I love where they're chasing him in the black vans with black cars, and Black Panther's kind of running after him and chasing him and like using his cool vibranium suit and all that. I think you know Shuri, she's kind of like the Wakandan Tony Stark, I guess, when she's not you know completely effing everything up, I guess. She's kind of making this tech for him and kind of, you know, making fun of him also, but making tech for him, so to speak, and, you know, kind of, you know, driving the car and testing things out. I think she's a cool character. She's funny. Obviously, she is the new Black Panther now, but in this role, in this film, when he was still alive and he was still Black Panther, I think, you know, she did a good job. Okoye is great. I think she's funny. She, you know, she hates the wig and all that. Pretty funny stuff. A lot of the Wakandans and the Dora Milaje and all that, they're just kind of, it's just a bunch of bald women. It's like they don't really stand out. Obviously, like I said, Shuri, Okoye, and I think Nakia. Not the phone or the tablet brand. Her, the character, Nakia, or Nakia, I don't know. I'm a white guy. Okay, give me some slack. Nakia, I believe. I think she's good. You know, everyone in this movie that has a prominent role is good. The Queen, I believe, gets more, or, you know, the Queenish lady, whoever she is, she gets more play in Wakanda Forever. But in this film, she's fine. But like I said, overall the action is great, and the banter was really good between the characters. It's coming off of Thor Ragnarok, this is more of a serious movie. There are jokes, and thankfully they do land, and they are funny. But it's not a comedy. It's not trying to be super duper funny. Again, this is a pretty grounded story about a Wakandan people, and they're kind of trouble and all that, and trying to stop Killmonger, and it's really about peace and love and family. And you get some really badass action scenes as well with Black Panther and all that. It's kind of clawing the tires out, and the scene where he's rescuing, I think the dudes are like sex trafficking. I don't know what all those women in the van. That's what I'm assuming it is. Nakia is like the spy, the Wakandan spy. She's there. She's trying to kind of foil things. I think it's good stuff. There's some good plot points in there. Again, Killmonger's a good villain. I really like the music aspect. I like the African music. I think that's kind of cool. Again, helps set the tone. I like the atmosphere that they're building with the Wakandan people, and I think Ross plays a good role as well. M'Baku shows up in the end and kind of helps them. The tribe and just the different like customs that they have. Again, as a white dude from America, I don't know why. I get it. It's their culture, right? You can just attune that to, it's their culture, stupid. Accept it. But I don't like the people with the weird, like the thing, like the rings here. Not like where you do that. You see the blue shit, like the actual, like their lips are like that, and they got like the weird cup disc ring thing. I know it's their culture, but that looks painful as hell. Okay, I don't want to do that. I don't care if I'm Africa or Wakandan. If they were like, hey, you want to do that? I'd be like, no, you do it. I don't want to do that. That looks not so fun. Again, I get it. It's their culture. I'm an uncultured white boy. But still, it doesn't look fun. But I do appreciate the culture that they're trying to show, and it doesn't feel preachy like Ms. Marvel did. We'll get to that. It doesn't feel anything kind of insincere. It feels like, no, this is a real place. People are living here. There's a real culture, a real atmosphere, and a real way of living, and they, I think, portray that really well. Again, the end battle scene is really great. For the most part, I think it's really cool that Black Panther shows up after being chucked up that waterfall, and he's showing up and fighting Killmonger, and this is huge, like, epic Lord of the Rings style war. Really good stuff. And then you get to probably the worst aspect of this film, which is, of course, the CGI. This was when Marvel was pumping out, like, a butt ton of movies every year. Thankfully, I don't think the VFX guys were getting that overworked, at least not at this stage yet, so a lot of these movies do look good. However, the end battle scene with the weird rhino things, and then when Killmonger and Black Panther are fighting in, like, the vibranium cave or whatever in the end, this has been said to death by other VFX people and just by other critics, so I'm kind of beating a dead rhino here. But at the same time, I just gotta say, because this is a review, the CGI does look a bit lacking. This has the Spider-Man Homecoming effect where Black Panther's in the suit when you don't see T'Challa's face, and it's like, it's CGI. Okay, it's not bad, but it's noticeable. There's some CGI Black Panther nonsense going on. And I get it, you don't want to get a stunt guy, you don't want to get a Chadwick to get in the thing and do crazy stuff, I get it, but it does look a bit noticeable. Again, the rhinos, obviously they're rhinos, so they're not going to have a real rhino in armor charging at people, but, CG animals have been done better. And then you also get the, the end battle scene, like I said, in the vibranium cave, where it genuinely looks like I turned up the brightness on my TV. I kind of like, a few weeks ago, I effed with my TV settings, right? I just like fiddled with it. And I changed like the saturation and all that. So the TV itself looks like everything now. Video games, movies, it looks a lot more vibrant and better. It's like I got a brand new TV, so that's cool. And I got my glasses on, so that also helps. But a lot of this, it looks like a PS2 cutscene. And I was like, wow, yeah, like that's not good. Like it's very rubbery and slimy looking, and they're moved too fast. It's very, the fight is cool. Like, I like the fight. And, he's throwing the dagger, he's catching the dagger, and he's slicing them, and they got the train going. It's cool stuff. And, I did watch a Corridor Crew video. I don't know if you heard of them. You probably have. One of the CGI guys was talking about this scene. And they were like, oh, the reason why this looks like Dookie is because, we were doing Infinity War, and we were doing other Marvel things, and we were just being overworked at this time, and there are deadlines. When a movie has a set release date, you got to finish your VFX by said release date, or the movie's done, you're cooked, So in that case, they kind of had to, they were literally like, yeah, we had to rush, like we didn't have enough time. We had the money, but we didn't have enough time to finish it, and it doesn't look horrible, but it does look considerably worse than anything in this movie or anything we've been getting up to that point. Again, I wouldn't say it's that big of a deal, and it's really not in the grand scheme of things, but for this review purpose, it does kind of stick out like a sore vibranium thumb, because it's like, okay, the movie looks good, everything's clicking, everything I like it so far, and then that happens, and again, it's cool, but it does really effing stand out. It's like, oh my god, that jet, like, it looks like a freaking Wii cutscene at times. And I get it, like I said, you know, it's hard for me to really fault this and be like, that's bad, because now that I know the reason is, yeah, they ran out of time, but I don't know, like, delay your movie by a month or two? Like, people are still gonna, I think this made $1 billion. So it's like, people aren't gonna give a crap. You know what I mean? If the movie's gonna be better as a result, delay it, just like a video game. You know what I mean? Just be honest and forward and straight with us. But if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like, because now this movie is immortalized for having a really shitty looking fight scene in the end. And that's just not, you know, indicative of the product. Like, this movie's very good. And it really kind of sucks that, you know, we're at the stage where, I'm like, ooh, that's a little rough. You know, we're going to be getting some rough CGI too in the future here. Spoiler alert. But right now, again, you know, most of these movies look really good. And it's a little bit strange that, you know, it just, like I said, it sticks out like a sore thumb. But again, now knowing the reason, I'm a little more lenient. But, you know, if a guy worked on a video game for 10 years, right, or did CGI on a movie for 10 years, and it's bad, and he's like, well, I spent 10 years on it, and it's still bad, guess what? It's still bad. So yeah, I get it. They didn't have enough time, but the end objective result, it doesn't look very good. So what do? I get it. They tried, they ran out of time, but the end result showing, not that great. Overall though, like I said, I really did enjoy the movie upon rewatch. Again, this one kind of like one of the other movies I reviewed a few videos ago. I was like, yeah, I remember it being good, but like not amazing. And it's still not like the best Marvel movie of all time, but it's more better. It's more betterer than what I gave it credit for. Okay, I think it's got a lot of fun moments. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's also not a straight up comedy. I think they found the good balance there. Some really good action scenes. Good CGI for the most part, good writing, good world building. I think Black Panther is a pretty good time. Again, it sucks this is Chadwick's only solo Black Panther film. We are going to get him, of course, in Infinity War and Endgame. And then, of course, Shuri takes over. But I am excited to tackle what is probably one of the best Marvel movies ever made, Avengers Infinity War, next. I can't wait to cover that, so tell me down below in the comments what you think about Marvel Studios' Black Panther. And out of Black Panther or Black Panther Wakanda Forever, what is your favorite and why? Again, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than what I remember. So there's a few hitches here or there, but I'm going to give Black Panther an A-. I think that's deserving of that. There's a few little hitches here or there, but nothing too crazy. The stuff that I did have to bring up. But anyway, I enjoyed this movie. I'm glad I got to rewatch it. And again, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new. And tell me down below, what do you think about Black Panther? Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.